Hello everyone, welcome to my updated review of ExpressVPN. Now, there have been some updates over the past few months, and I wanted to get into that in this review and let you in on how ExpressVPN is performing. And ExpressVPN continues to be a leading VPN in the industry, and in this review, I'll examine whether or not that statement remains to be true. So, in this review, I'll look into the privacy policy, performance and speed, streaming and torrenting capabilities, as well as security features. And together, we'll determine whether or not ExpressVPN still holds up in terms of value, and if that value is worth your dollar. And of course, if at any point you'd like to check for pricing, you'll find all the links you need in the description below, including some discounts to save you some cash. So be sure to keep an eye out for those if you end up getting yourself a subscription with ExpressVPN. Privacy policy. So when it comes to privacy and their no logs policy, it's very well known at this point how much Express values both. And that could not have been demonstrated any better than in real-life stress tests where the Turkish government seized an ExpressVPN server as part of an investigation, but were not able to extract any information out of the servers thanks to Express having not stored any information on their servers in the first place, which is also attributed to their trusted technology servers, which are servers running on RAM disk drives rather than physical hard drives, which means that there are simply no physical drives for information to be stored in. And any minimal information stored on the RAM is erased with every machine reboot. Now, regarding the ownership of ExpressVPN, it was acquired by Kape Technologies as late as 2021, the same company that owns Cyberghost, PIA, and Zenmite. Since the acquisition, very little has changed in the day-to-day operations of ExpressVPN, and that also extends to the privacy policy of ExpressVPN, which is good to know. Though in September 2021, ExpressVPN got caught up in a controversy involving ExpressVPN's chief information officer, who was once hired by the US and the UAE intelligence services in cyber spy operations. He also worked on the controversial Project Raven, which ExpressVPN has publicly condemned. However, besides ExpressVPN's condemnation of Project Raven, Express explained how Daniel's expertise and ability to understand adversaries, it helped the Express team properly assess risks and prevent threats, and how Daniel's understanding of offense helped Express build a better defense. So, combined with the efforts and dedication of ExpressVPN to constantly conduct independent audits and publicly show the reports, it really shows the unprecedented levels of transparency that ExpressVPN is willing to reach in order to preserve the trust of their users, and that's you. So overall, it's safe to say that ExpressVPN still holds up with regards to upholding the integrity of their no logs policy and protecting the privacy of their users. Again, that's you. Now, in terms of speed, keep in mind that speed tests will vary depending on various factors like your own connection speed, server load, and the distance between you and the server you're connecting. And if you didn't know, when you connect to a VPN, your speed will drop since you're connecting to a server that's essentially much farther than your ISP servers. So, generally speaking, drops between 10 and 20% are considered to be excellent for a VPN, and anything between 20 to 30 or even 40% is still quite good. Granted, your base speed is fast enough to handle a 40% drop. And during my tests, I noticed that my speed drops maintained within the 10 to 30% range, which is excellent. So when it comes to speed, ExpressVPN will keep the speed drops to a minimum and as close to your base speed as possible. I would just recommend that you use the best performing protocol, and that'll be the Lightway UDP protocol for the best results. So, with regards to speed, Express does very well. Just keep one thing in mind, which is the closer the VPN server is to the physical location, the faster the speed. Though with the quality of the servers of ExpressVPN, even those that are much farther away will still give you impressive speeds. Now, for streaming, Express is simply excellent. The level of consistency in unblocking geo restrictions is very, very high. Express can unblock many streaming services, including HBO Max, Hulu, Amazon Prime, up to 18 Netflix libraries, and many more. Express also has a feature called Media Streamer, which allows users to unblock streaming services from the US and UK on smart devices without having to download the Express application by simply using a DNS provided by Express. This can be useful if your device may not support the ExpressVPN app, but at this point, most devices do unless you're using a particular outdated device. Now for torrenting, Express also fully supports P2P activity without any restrictions on speed or bandwidth, and that support extends across all servers. Though you might want to make a note of Express not supporting port forwarding, if that's something you need. But port forwarding isn't something that's typically necessary when downloading. It's more needed for file sharing and seeding, so you can ultimately still download to your heart's content. As for gamers out there, you'll be glad to know that Express is also able to provide the best experience while gaming. Your ping will be as close to your base ping as it can be, and in most instances, exactly the same. Also, here's a pro tip. If you connect to a VPN server that's close to your game server, you're much more likely to get an even better ping than the usual. Now, for security, by default, Express uses AES 256-bit encryption in combination with OpenVPN protocol and a 4096-bit RSA key. Lightway is another protocol that is like OpenVPN, but it's open source and much simpler coding, making errors much easier to spot. Lightway also uses Wolf SSL, which has been extensively audited and certified. Now, from my experience, Lightway UDP is the fastest protocol, so it's definitely what I'd recommend most of you to use, but leaving it on automatic is also a viable option if you don't want to mess with the options. Other protocols are available, such as TCP counterparts of OpenVPN and Lightway, as well as IKEv2 and L2TP, which are not very reliable, but having the option is definitely appreciated. Now, Express isn't exactly decked out with advanced features. Express was made with the average user in mind, and it was also made secure and consistent enough to attract the advanced user. Express has a reliable and properly functional kill switch, which severs your internet connection when the VPN disconnects unexpectedly, which is rare in ExpressVPN anyways. You also get a very easy to use split tunneling feature to allow you to choose which applications bypass the VPN connection or the other way around by having only selected applications use the VPN connection while leaving the rest of the network outside the VPN tunnel. And these features are available for Mac users as well, so you won't be missing out no matter what device you're using. Other great security features include DNS, WebRTC, and IPv6 leak protection. So naturally, when I tested for leaks, there was no leaks or data to link to my real location. And by default, ExpressVPN also uses perfect forward secrecy, which adds another layer of protection by automatically creating a new encryption key for every session and then replacing it every 60 minutes. Now, see, this means that even if someone was able to intercept and decipher your VPN connection, the most they would be able to get is 60 minutes of data. This is also backed up by the previously mentioned RAM disk servers, which promote the highest level of privacy and the lowest risk of data collection. As for obfuscation, unlike most other VPNs, there's no toggle for obfuscation in Express, as it is always on by default. And according to support, it really doesn't matter which protocol you use, your traffic will be obfuscated regardless. ExpressVPN is one of the only VPNs that still works in China despite the country's blocks on VPN traffic. You're also able to access Chinese TV and websites, so your data will look like any normal browsing data through ExpressVPN's proprietary obfuscation, meaning that the Great Firewall of China won't be able to identify your VPN traffic. And the same goes for all the other heavily restricted countries like the UAE or Turkey. Regarding servers, ExpressVPN operates more than 3,000 servers in 94 countries, which provides a wide variety of regions for users to choose from no matter your location. Express works on almost every modern smart device, including Android, Apple iOS, Linux, Mac OS, smart TVs, Roku, and browsers extensions are also available. As for simultaneous connections, you'll be able to connect up to 5 devices at a time per subscription. Now, I'm sure it's pretty obvious at this point, but I also think it's worth mentioning how clean and bug-free the user interface of Express is. It's nothing too fancy or attractive. It's just very simple and easy to read. As if Express is not really trying to impress you with looks, but with performance instead. And honestly, isn't that more important? Now, when it comes to pricing, they do have a monthly subscription for $12.95. They also have a 6-month plan that goes down to $9.99 a month, and a 12-month plan that drops the price down to $8.32 a month. It's also important to note that all the plans have a 30-day money-back guarantee and a very, very helpful 24-hour live chat support if you're having any sort of issues at any time of day or night. You can ask somebody. Again, if you are interested in Express, be sure to check out the description, as I will be able to include a coupon code in the link that will give you an additional discount and save you some more money. Who doesn't like to save money? So overall, ExpressVPN continues to lead the VPN industry. Despite the lack of customization and minimal features, every feature Express has on offer is very well polished and is made to carry out tasks at the highest levels of security, consistency, and efficient performance. So ultimately, if you're looking for the best VPN, whether for torrenting, unblocking geo restrictions, or to stay private online, ExpressVPN continues to be the way to go. So that'll be it for this review. If you enjoyed it or learned something, consider liking the video and subscribe to stay up to date with everything VPN related. And let me know, what features would you like to see in Express? Is there anything that you think Express is severely missing? And don't hesitate to drop your question in the comment section below. Besides that, thank you very much for watching. Have a wonderful day.